Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the tall, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still they answer the call. And we said, be tight, be tight, be tight. The officer Tatum show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. The officer Tatum show.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies? I'm gonna wait for a few of you guys to get in here, and then we have to continue to talk about Hunter Biden, because I have a theory that a lot of people aren't talking about. A lot of people aren't expressing, at least the people that I've heard. So I'm gonna let a couple of y'all get in here, and then we got to dive into this and talk about this real quick. And then we're gonna talk about Daniel Penny, because that's a subject dear to my heart, especially being in law enforcement. And then we got another clip that we're going to bring up about this lady, this Houston police officer just ran this lady over in the middle of the street. Those are a few topics. And Mayor Adams, I got to add him in there as well, of Mayor Adams and some of the things that he said as of late. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, Hunter Biden, this is my theory. Nobody's saying this. This was not I think I'm going to pardon my son because things have transpired type of an incident. This is a thing where Joe Biden knew he was going to pardon his son from the very day he took office. The DOJ, all the investigatory bodies were all in lockstep with this plan from the very beginning. The plan was to try to cover up their cover-up of Hunter Biden during their prosecution of Donald Trump. Let me tell you what I mean. They knew that they wanted to try to put Donald Trump in prison so he wouldn't have an opportunity to run and beat the Democrats in the next election. So they went after him to no end. I think a lot of it was illegal. A lot of it was clearly wrong. A lot of people lied on stuff. They elected people with Soros money so that they can prosecute Donald Trump. But in the midst of prosecuting Donald Trump, to try to make it appear to be fair, they had this grandiose plan to say, we're going to indict Hunter Biden as well. When they knew that this is the only chance they got to indict him for his charges and then pardon him in Joe Biden's last term. This is what the whole plan was. They put Donald Trump up to try to get him sent to prison. And then they say, we're going to indict Hunter Biden because we need him to get these charges done so we can make it look like a fair and impartial government system. But we already know that Joe Biden is going to pardon him. And there needs to be charges that are brought forward so those charges can be pardoned and put behind us. Because if they had not done this during this dispensation of time, after Biden is out of office and Trump is now in office, then I think they could have brought charges against Hunter Biden, which he couldn't have been pardoned from. So them pardoning him from the charges that they got this early in the game allows them to be proactive and making sure they cover the charges that he should be charged with, pardon them, and then go back 11 years with all that Burisma stuff, all that pay-to-play stuff that happened, they can absolve him of that as well. Meanwhile, making it look like it's fair by putting Donald Trump on trial as well. This is what I think they had done, and they planned it from the very beginning, and we all thought, or at least some people thought, that it was very fair and balanced, and it wasn't. They planned it out. They knew what they were going to do. They needed to do this because Joe Biden didn't have any more time left, and when they found out the Democrats was never going to win another election, they said, we better do it now, because when Kesh Patel becomes the head of the FBI, everybody going to jail. Everybody. We got a couple clips because your boy Stephen A. Smith decided that he want to chime in on this. And again, Stephen A. Smith should come out and say he's a Republican. But because his hands are soft and his heart is weak, he don't have the courage to come out and just say it. But there's no rational man that will say what he said and still be a Democrat. How does that make sense? Roll the clip.
What's your take on the pardon?
You know, the Biden situation disgusted me in terms of the pardon only from this standpoint, Chris. Nobody on the planet, you want to be a cynic and you want to act like you would be offended by something like that if you're one of those people out there, fine. But no one within reason would have a problem with him saying, it's my son. I love him. There's no way I'm sending him to jail. And I have the power to avoid it. Nobody would blame him for that. But that's not where he went. So I didn't have a problem to answer your question directly with the decision that he made to pardon his son. Boo-Boo the Fool knew he was going to do that. I don't care who he stood in front of or sat in front of and said that he wasn't going to pardon his son and he was just going to go by the letter of the law. Please, everybody and their grandmother knew he was going to pardon his son. But to come out and to start talking about how it's been a witch hunt and the Department of Justice and others were after him or whoever it was and, you know, the GOP rather was after him. Well, wait a minute. What have y'all been doing with Donald Trump all of these years? Now, you can make an argument about the legitimacy of the cases against Donald Trump compared to what wasn't legitimate, et cetera. That's not the point. The point is it was clearly politicized. You had folks on the left who were hell-bent on going after Donald Trump because they were determined to make sure that he couldn't run for re-election or that these elements would get in the way of him possibly winning re-election. And now we know why more than ever, because they weren't confident they would ever be able to beat him. He'd been a Republican nominee since 2016. He beat Hillary Clinton with the Electoral College vote. He wouldn't concede defeat in 2020, but he did receive over 74 million votes at that particular moment in time. And then you fast forward 4 years later, despite the 34 felony convictions, the 2 impeachments, the bevy of crimes that he had been accused of, the Republican voters out there, the conservative voters out there, and a lot of independents from various communities said, he's the guy we want, and I've said it on many, many occasions. It wasn't about him. Just like it wasn't about Biden in 2020, it was more against Trump. In this particular instance, it was an indictment against the Biden administration, what had been going on for the last 4 years. Some of the things going on with the border, obviously inflation, of course, crime in the streets, of course, woke and cancel culture and all of that, it all played a role. And so for him to come out and to talk about that this was a witch hunt when clearly it could be argued that's exactly what you were doing to Donald Trump or you assisted in doing seems beyond hypocritical. And that was what disgusted me. It wasn't his decision. It wasn't him pardoning his son. It was the weak, pathetic explanation that he gave, which has most critics just shaking their heads and raising their eyebrows and saying, what nerve you have.
And I'm critical of him as well. What nerve do you have articulating very clearly that it was a potential witch hunt against Donald Trump, that they lied to the American people, and they turn around and do the exact same thing they claim that we did? They're shielding and protecting a criminal. That's what they did. And Stephen A. Smith still can't come out and say he's a Trump supporter and he's a Republican. Stephen A., what party are you in? What party are you in? Stephen A. What are you talking about at this point? Donald Trump was targeted. We all know. Quit trying to parse words. We all know that Donald Trump was targeted. Clearly. That's why he ain't spent a minute in jail. They tried to get him a mug shot to damage your reputation. They tried to impeach him. They tried to do all kind of stuff. They tried to take him out. We all know what happened, Stephen A. Why don't you tell the truth? But I'm glad that you guys listen to people like me because I'm going to tell you the truth. It is crazy to me. And people are saying in the comment section, is Joe Biden going to pardon himself? I think that you can't pardon yourself, obviously. The only way you can get some justification, and I think the only way Joe Biden could escape this is if he pardoned Donald Trump. That's the only way he can escape this. Because if Joe Biden pardons Donald Trump, then hopefully he get favor from Donald Trump to not go after him in an investigation. Because I think that Joe Biden pardoned Hunter Biden so that Hunter Biden won't be prosecuted for the things that him and Joe Biden did while Joe Biden was the vice president. Joe Biden knows that he got 1 foot in the grave. By the time they investigate and prosecute him, he ain't gonna be here no more. So he don't mind doing the rest of his life with scrutiny. His son will do life. He's just gonna do it until he die, which is for 5 years from now, if not sooner than that. Unfortunately at the same time, I don't know. That's up to God to decide if that man deserved to go. But that's pretty much what they did. Now let's go to the other clip that we have, because I want to play everybody. Jon Stewart, who's a comedian. The fact that Jon Stewart can make a joke about this, we know he's a leftist nut. But just the fact that a comedian will make a joke about this shows how incredibly disingenuous this thing was and how sickeningly obvious it was that this was a sham. Roll the clip.
The problem is the rest of the Democrats made Biden's pledge to not pardon Hunter the foundation of their defense of America, this grand experiment.
One political party remains committed to the rule of law and the other doesn't. It's that simple.
Hunter Biden's not above the law. No one is above the law. Democrats stand for the rule of law.
We accept the outcome because that's how the rule of law works.
Because the justice system that convicted his only surviving son is the same justice system he's vowed to protect. And if that doesn't tell you who Joe Biden is, I don't really know what does.
I think I know what does. And now look at the dance Democrats have to do.
Be honest, the only reason why they went after Hunter the way they did, and I've talked to many federal prosecutors about this, is because he's the president's son.
People have to remember the president has lost 2 children already, and he does not need to lose another one to more political witch hunts.
The, crowing from Republicans, but we're talking about, Donald Trump is a convicted felon who literally had pardoned his daughter's father-in-law and just made him ambassador to France.
So for anyone that wants to clutch their pearls now because he decided that he was going to pardon his son, I would say take a look in the mirror.
Ma'am, we will take a look in that mirror, but we are taking off. So if you could just put this shit on airplane mode and let us get home for the holidays.
Hold on, please. See, this is the foolery from the left. And this is why you guys can't trust him. Not because Brandon Tatum said it, but because the evidence is very clear. These people clearly are just saying whatever they need to say for political expediency. They just say whatever. They're above. No one's above the law. The Democrats are the ones that are abiding by the law. You abide by the law when Hillary Clinton should be in prison for a long time. You guys didn't even hold an election for Kamala Harris. You literally just appointed her as a party. Not the people didn't have no say. Nobody voted for her. She has, to this day, never received a vote in the primary. Ever. She didn't deserve it. Y'all just thrusted her in there anyway. You tell the people Trump is a threat to democracy. You do this, you do that, you say this, you say that, and all of it is lying. It's all lies and grandstanding. Republicans don't do that. Don't act like we're the same. Republicans don't sit there and lie to you for 25 years and then flip the script on you. Yeah, duh. He can pardon his son. Duh. Everybody knows that, duh. But the question is, should he have? Unless you want a double standard. If they weren't out saying, we're the moral party, Donald Trump is bad, Donald Trump is a convicted felon, they wasn't saying that, then him pardoning his son, that wouldn't even make the news. It's that you guys gaslit us about the whole process. Roll the clip.
Yes. To everything that you guys were saying, if you hadn't made Hunter Biden not receiving a pardon the Mason-Dixon line of morality between Democrats and Republicans. There's a big gap between the law is the only thing that separates us from the animals and the monkey threw shit at me first. I had no choice. This is what Biden's decision has done. Look how confident and eloquent our Democratic representatives were back when they thought they had the moral high ground on this issue.
I've not heard a single Democrat anywhere in the country cry fraud, cry fixed, cry rigged, cry kangaroo court. You don't hear a single peep out of any Democrat saying that. Why? We believe in the rule of law.
And now look at what even he, one of the most verbally dexterous attorneys we have on Capitol Hill, has been reduced to.
Do you think President Biden should pardon Hunter Biden?
So there are lots of claims of political prosecution and political.
And was Hunter politically?
Well, I mean, obviously that's a judicial point, and you've got to look at what the evidence is. And I don't know enough.
So should the president pardon him?
I mean, again, that is a unilateral executive power that.
And should he use it?
Well, the power exists for the president to show mercy for people.
I mean, we have an executive, and we have a judicial, and then a legislative, and then smoke bomb.
Sometimes these leftists, when they making fun of themselves, they're actually funnier. But it's insane to me that they get to just get away with this. That they get to get on television and grandstand, and then they caught with their pants hanging down. I mean, the guy couldn't even answer a real question. That's the thing that always shocks me about all of this is that why can't people just be genuine? Why can't people just be genuine? When our side messes up, when Trump does things that I think is completely foolery, I just openly say it. It's not that hard to say it. Now, I'm not going to act like our side does a good job at that either, because people got mad at me when I criticized Trump ever. And I'm one of the biggest Trump supporters. I can't say nothing. Donald Trump can have a hangnail coming through his golf shoes, and I say, man, his hangnail coming out his golf shoe. I always Trump, Jesus, Trump is Jesus. That's what some people be doing. Y'all think I'm lying. You say anything about Trump, his hair, his toupee hanging to the left too much. They gonna cancel me. I'm unsubscribing. I can't believe you said anything about Trump. It's like, at the end of the day, there are open criticisms of both sides, right? They're just far worse than what we are. I think we are humans making human errors and sometimes not living up to the best of it. They are evil devils that are all going to probably burn if they keep it up. Anyway, I got some more clips for you. We got to get to this, and then I want to get to Daniel Penny. Daniel Penny. I want to say Dan Pena, because y'all know Dan Pena. Y'all know Dan Pena is? You got to look him up. He's the craziest guy on the internet. Anyway, let's go to another clip from Whoopi Goldturds and Sonny Holston about this pardon. Roll the film.
So President Biden's full pardon to his son Hunter is being met with a strong reaction from the left side of the aisle, too. Take a look.
What other father in America has the power to pardon his son or daughter if they're convicted of a crime?
He didn't need to tell the American public, I will not do this. And he did. And when you made a promise, you got to keep it.
I can't say why my colleagues are acting the way that they are. I can say that the American people are tired of us bringing a butter knife to a real fight.
It's a gift to Donald Trump because he's going to come here and claim that he's just doing what Joe Biden did. And I think that is hurtful for the American people.
You know what I think is hurtful for the American people? I think what is hurtful is denying that if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
Yeah.
He is the president of the United States, and it is his right, and he doesn't have to explain to anybody. This is his right as president. He can pardon, if he wants to pardon Bozo the Clown, he can pardon Bozo the Clown.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why people are clutching their pearls while the left is clutching their pearls. Because did y'all forget all the stuff that we said was going on, or that doesn't matter? Because it seems to me, and I had to write it down because I didn't think I would remember it.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Democrats, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You can't let people tell you you're not taking the moral ground when we take the moral ground all the time. We fight for migrant rights, women's rights, gay folks' rights, trans rights, and every time we do, suddenly we're being told, oh, you're on the woke agenda.
Yeah.
Either
hold on.
we are...
Hold the front door. Shut the front door. These people, let me translate this for you. They do not stand up for gay people rights. They don't stand up for trans rights. They only stand up for their own party mission of opportunism. They don't stand up for, if you're gay and you support Trump, they don't like you. Your voice means nothing. They don't stand up for black people, because if you're a black person that dissents from their ideas, then you don't count. You're not even black. Even Joe Biden said it, and the people of the melanin didn't have enough courage to call him out on it. He said, if you don't know you vote for, then you ain't black. He said, if you're not voting for me, you ain't a black man. Women, y'all not standing up for women. The women that want to take their kids to term and raise a family and be Christian and have a good husband and maybe be a stay-at-home wife, y'all, they not women to you. Women that want to go in a locker room and not look at a man Johnson swinging in the locker room, y'all don't like that. Women should be championing. I'm maybe saying that word wrong. What's her name that was a swimmer? Riley Gaines. She's beautiful. She's smart. She's courageous. She's standing up for women and women's rights, women's spaces. I mean, you name it. She is an advocate for women. But they don't even consider her to be a woman. And not only do they treat women that way that dissent from their ideas, they will sit in your face and tell you there is no definition of a woman. But y'all standing up for women. What does that mean? Anybody who claimed to be a woman. Okay. Miss me with that. Roll the clip.
This party, and we fight for these things, and you see what's going on, and you get why he's decided to do this, or you don't. But you don't go out and chew up other Democrats. This is a big problem, I feel, as a Democrat.
That's what's been so troubling to me, sort of this internal firing squad. It's been really bothering me. And what's also been bothering me is, well, Joe Biden should have stuck to what he said. He should have stuck to his promise. He lied. Let's just take a little refresher course. I don't think that he was lying. Anna Navarro spoke to Joe Biden, and he had every intention not to pardon his son. But once he realized that President-elect Trump is going to be on a revenge tour, there were changing circumstances. He became the pragmatic president that we always knew. Now let's talk about lying. And I also had to write it down.
Hold the phone. You hamburger heifer, just on here lying. If that was the case, Hunter Biden had already gotten convicted. Donald Trump can't come and create a conviction. He pled guilty to one charge. He was convicted on the other charge. Donald Trump has no say in his sentencing. By the time he was sentenced, Donald Trump wouldn't even been the president yet by the time they've sentenced him already. So what are you saying? Are you saying that Donald Trump is going to actually investigate the crimes that Hunter Biden was involved in, and that's why his dad made sure he couldn't be prosecuted? Is that what you're saying? But the American people deserve to have people being investigated. I don't care that they investigate Trump if it was legitimate. If Trump was legitimately committing crimes, that's on him, bro. You grown. You know better. You want to commit crime, we're going to go to jail. Because if I did it, if he did it, we're going to go to jail. Locked up. They won't let me out. I'm locked up. That's what's going to happen to us. Now, how they get a pass, we go to jail. Don't see our family for Christmas. They don't give a flying flip. But somehow we should be okay with them doing it. Man, forget that. Trump, run it up.
Because I couldn't remember. The Washington Post indicates that President-elect Trump made false or misleading claims a total of 30,573 times over 4 years. Just in August 2024, NPR clocked him at 162 lies during a news conference. October 24th, CNN clocked him 40 separate lies in only 2 Pennsylvania speeches. So if we want to talk about lying,
I can't. Hold on. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Why won't she disclose one lie that he told? I want you guys to understand it. She didn't mention one lie. Just mention one. She can't, because they can arbitrarily call something he says a lie. If he said Joe Biden will pardon his son, he's a liar, they will call Trump a liar, although Trump was correct. Donald Trump said, I had the greatest economy. My economy was better than Joe Biden. Clearly it was. They can say, no, he lied, because technically Joe Biden created more jobs. Well, you didn't create the jobs. The jobs came after you guys released everybody from COVID. That's people getting their job back. That's not increasing jobs. You're not creating new jobs, new opportunities. It doesn't exist. Inflation is insane. That's why y'all lost. But If Donald Trump says that, they say he lied. If Donald Trump repeats himself telling the truth 3 times, they call it 3 different lies. That's why you can't believe these people. He lied 472,000 times. About what? Name one. I put $1,000 on it. Name a lie he told. You can't name one. They said they fact-checked him during the debate, and he was correct. They literally fact-checked him into a lie. He was correct. Y'all lied. Your fact-checker lied.
Let's talk about that and stop this pearl clutching about Joe Biden's life.
This is what's wrong with politics, though, right? I mean, it's like, how far down the bottom of the barrel can we go? It's like, well,
no barrel.
two wrongs don't make a right,
at the Earth's
though.
crust.
Yeah. 2 wrongs don't make a right. And I think what people are saying with Hunter specifically is what they hate about politics.
Yeah.
Right? They hate the fact that you can be in these political circles, this elite world, and somehow you're above the law.
But
I don't
do they
care
hate
who
it
you
that
are.
much, Abby?
None of us are above the law, and pardons have happened throughout history. So he can do what he wants. You're exactly right. I think the problem is this has been baked for some time, and there's this trend where there were a lot of people that felt a bit gaslit with the way they handled the inner circle of the Biden team handling his health, how they communicated that. They felt like they weren't as honest. And then you have this. It kind of, I have to just point something out.
Do they hate it that much since they voted the guy in that lied like 40,000 times?
Look, I think that story is, people have made their choice about Trump. Yeah. They know the good, they know the good, bad, and the ugly. Last time I saw Biden was at this table, and it was when he was announcing he was running. Mm-hmm. And I can't help but think about how different that moment was and how different that mood was. He said, I'm going to bring this country together. I'm going to get Trump out of office. I'm going to be the palate cleanser that this country desperately needs.
Save the soul of a nation.
What breaks my heart is for a man that has served most of his life, he is going out in one of the worst ways. You are sandwiched between Trump years. You are now pardoning your son from criminal activity. Mm-hmm. You are ousted by your own party. This is not what he wants his legacy to be. You think he's sitting there thinking, this is how I'm going to be remembered. This is the way I'm going to be written about.
But I think the issue, too, is that we're missing, once again, the forest for the trees. I think we're focusing on the wrong thing. The thing is that we continue to put our faith in politicians, and every single time you do that, they will let you down. I think that what we need to be focusing on are the policies, and we need to hold people, or our politicians, accountable for that. I think that when it comes to what we need to be focusing on, we need to move on. We need to pick up the pieces from this election, and then I think we need to regroup and focus on the next 4 years. I don't think we need to be worrying about.
I can't do it no more. I can't do it more. I'm done with these women. Let me make a point that we're going to move on. The point that I wanted to make, just very quickly, is this is Joe Biden's legacy. Quit acting like this is not the way he wanted to go out. This is who he is. He was a terrible president. He pardoned his son. They completely weaponized the government against Donald Trump. He failed at every point. He's literally walking dead. Then his own party informed him while he was sick somewhere that, hey, you dropped out the election. I just want you to know. Then they appointed the worst vice president candidate ever in history. She had the worst approval ratings. She got 0 votes when she tried to run for president. I mean, this is how, listen, God exposed y'all. Give me the big screen. God exposed y'all. I need everybody to see me, big Tatum on this one. God exposed them. That's what happened. There's no if or this is what could. No, they got exposed. If they were fair, Donald Trump would have did 2 terms in a row, and they would have been done with Republicans, to be honest. But y'all were wicked, and you lied, and you were deceptive, and you thought you can play this game. And God took the veil off people's eyes by allowing Joe Biden to be the president. So now you can see this is what they really are. It's easy for you to sit on the bench and then criticize the guy that's in the game. Look, I'd have made that 3. Oh, wait, double dribble. He double dribbling. He don't even got a good crossover. Why did he even go for that layup, bro? He can't even dunk. You sitting on the bench, it sound cute for you to talk about that man that's in the game. And then what happened, y'all? Coach looked over to the sideline and said, get in the game. And they get in the game and screw the whole game up. They missing shots. They double dribbling. They losing the game. The game is, we starting to lose the game. We were winning with the other guy in there that they were criticizing. Now they in the game, and now we can see how terrible they are. Now the coach is looking and saying, bro, you are actually the worst player on the team. Not only do we not want you in the game no more, we're going to kick you off the team. You're not even good enough to be on the bench. God had to expose these people. They're evil. They're deceptive. They've been lying this entire time. And that's what they get. Megyn Kelly. I want to play a Megyn Kelly clip. And then we're going to go to Daniel Penny and I'll come back. Should we go to Daniel Penny now? Let's jump subjects real quick. I want to talk about Daniel Penny before we run out of time. Daniel Penny's case, and we'll get back to a couple clips with Hunter Biden. Daniel Penny's case, to me, it literally makes my mind boil. Because this young man should have never been even under investigation for anything. Jordan Neely decided that he was going to use drugs and be a nut. He gets on the transit system, threatening to take the lives of people on the thing. You got black women, children, kids. I mean, you got people of all races and ages, and this guy's on there threatening people. He said, and then they say, calm down, bro. He go, I don't care about going to jail. This dude showed every element of being a threat to society that you could possibly do. He came on, his physical demeanor was threatening. He verbally said, I'm going to do this. And then he said, I don't care about going to jail. He literally completed the web of criminal behavior. He said, his behavior alluded to it. He said, I'm going to commit this crime, and then I don't care about going to jail. So nothing is going to stop me. Calling the police ain't going to stop me. You talking to me ain't going to stop me because I don't give a about going to jail. Daniel Penny, being the hero that he was, served this country honorably, said, I need to take action as a man with a pair. I'm not going to sit there and let this dude threaten people and then he go hurt somebody and I'm sitting there with my tail between my legs being a coward. So what does Daniel Penny do because he got that dog in him? He said, I'm going to stop this guy before he hurts somebody. Everybody else on all the other men are, don't touch him. Don't talk to him. He may start fighting people. I don't know what to do. Daniel Penny said, I'm dropping a pair and I'm finna put you here until the police come. And then because the guy is a drug addict nut, probably high on all kind of stuff, he didn't make it. So what? Then the only reason Daniel Penny is even in his position, say it with me, ladies and gentlemen, because he's white. And the criminal thug is black. If he had to be, if it was a white on white, this wouldn't even make the news. If it was black on black, nobody would give a flying flip. If it was black on white, nobody would care. If Daniel Penny was the one getting choked out, nobody would care. Nobody would make a noise. But them race hustling thugs came out with the civil rights activists. The man threatened other black people on that train, but they don't care about that. Let's get to the clip real quick. We got a clip of this? All right, let me do this real quick. I want, for those of you who are not familiar with the case, I want to go through it real quick one time, okay? So we already got the idea that they got on a thing. There was a fight that ensued. Let me go to some of the charges. Daniel Penny is facing charges of second-degree manslaughter, which carries a potential sentence of 15 years in prison, criminal negligent homicide, which is possible him to go up to 4 years in prison, and they did jury deliberation. The jury is deliberating right now. But what was posed to them is obviously his defense. Witnesses took the stand and articulated their fear of Jordan Neely and their fear for their lives. And if you look at the video, other men were holding Jordan Neely down with Daniel Penny. None of them got charged. They're all doing this together because he's such a threat. So then they're going to have to make a decision. I'm gonna make a prediction, then we're gonna show the video. I'm gonna make a prediction right now. You can prove me wrong. I'll put my life savings on it. Daniel Penny will not be found guilty at all. There's no way. There is no way the city will be protest filled if somehow they put Daniel Penny in jail. Daniel Penny is nowhere, no shape, form, or fashion guilty. He cannot be found guilty by a jury. Beyond a reasonable doubt. It's impossible. There's witnesses. There's video. The guy, Jordan Neely, didn't even pass away on the scene. He was still alive when the police got there. They cannot argue that his actions were unreasonable. He felt fear for his life, along with other witnesses that testified. And unlike the media, they don't have a picture of him looking like Michael Jackson. They got the picture of what he really looked like and all his criminal records. I could have sworn we should have found this out. I could have sworn this dude like assaulted a young child on that same train years before this. And nobody's talking about that. Jordan Neely, I think, assaulted a 12-year-old on the train. I think he tried to kidnap her or something. He got arrested for it. We'll look that up real quick. Let's go to the look that up for me, Trent. Let's go to the video clips, Nick. Okay, roll the clip.
It's been belligerent and the whole train was freaked out. He was either gonna like pull a gun, a knife, or like. He said, "I'm willing to die. I'm willing to die. You know, I'm willing to get killed." They were getting a name and a phone.
Known at the level 1 of Central. Camera for all my units.
Black lady right there.
The guy in the tan did take him down like very respectfully and just like held him down. He wasn't like trying to just get him killed.
I think that the guy is totally drunk down.
This young lady right here.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you see?
What did I see? I was sitting over there. I heard the young man that's on the floor saying, you know, hey, I'm willing to die, you know? I'll do anything. I'm willing to die. I'll go to jail. I don't care. I don't care. And he was saying it so loud that everybody turned around. So this young man.
All right, so it's kind of hard to hear, but that's one of the witnesses. You see her gesturing, saying, I'm willing to die. I'm willing to die. I'm willing to die. I mean, what probable cause do you need to believe that this guy is a threat? What's the other clip we got? The interrogation. So let's play Daniel Penny's statement during the interrogation. And to me, when the jury hears his interrogation, they will realize it's coming from a man who was genuinely trying to look out for the betterment of the populace. He's not a malicious guy. He's not an angry guy. He's not I'm a Marine. I can do what I want to do. He's not a Billy Bad, you know what. They're gonna watch this and they're gonna see an everyday guy. And at this point, he didn't know that Jordan Neely had died. So this is a genuine approach of a guy just believing that he restrained a person in good faith. And this is what he looks like in an interrogation. Roll the clip.
Penny told the pair of detectives he was on his way to the gym after leaving class at City Tech from the J Street Metro Tech station in Brooklyn. At the 2nd Avenue stop, he said Neely got on, started to yell and threaten passengers.
Some guy came in, he's like, whipped his jacket off, and he's like, I'm gonna kill everybody.
Several witnesses took the stand, including NYPD Detective Brian McCarthy, who interviewed Penny. McCarthy testified he didn't tell Penny that Neely had died during that 5th Precinct interrogation. And when Penny was questioned about why he decided to get involved in the first place, he said,
I'm not a confrontational guy. In the Marine Corps, I felt the need to step in. Yeah. There's women and children on the train.
Did you feel like someone's life was in danger?
100%.
That's the case right there. Do you feel like your life was in danger or other people's lives were in danger? He said 100%. That is probable cause. That is enough to use force against somebody. The fear of your life being in danger. If the guy was on the train just walking around and Jordan Neely just like, oh man, look at that end. He looked like he gonna hurt somebody, and he went and did it, then I'm like, hey, bro, you finna go to jail. But the guy pretty much was like, hey, everybody, I'm crazy. And you know what I want to do today? I want to somebody. Yeah. Yeah. All you Marines on the thing, who gonna stop me? I don't care about going to jail. I don't care if I lose my life. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to do something to somebody on this train. Raise your hand if you're going to stop me or you're going to let me hurt everybody on this train. That's essentially what he did. We know the truth. Daniel Penny is not going to get prosecuted. I cannot see a jury coming back with a verdict and saying guilty. And it's impossible. And if they do, I'm a protest peacefully, of course. But I'm a protest. Y'all with me? We can't let them do this to this man. That man served his country, and he didn't have any intention to really hurt the guy. He was just trying to restrain him until the cops got there. Because if the cops was enough cops, they were funded properly, they'd be on the subway station, on the subway train. They'd been there to protect the people so the people don't have to act. Because they ain't there. People got to take action. Guy had a criminal record. Do we got his criminal record? He had a criminal record. We'll pull it up here in a second. But the guy had a criminal record. He literally abused a child or something on there. I think he tried to kidnap her. Jordan Neely's criminal record. We'll look it up real quick. All right, my son got a basketball game I got to get to, so I want to knock out a couple more topics, and then we'll move on. But before we go to the next topic, because I'm going to talk about Mayor Adams, and then I want to talk about this body-worn camera footage of this cop running over people in Houston, Texas. I have to talk about it, all right? So before we get there, Nick, can you pull up the Angel Tree campaign real quick, and then we'll go to Mayor Adams. But I want to share this campaign with you guys because we're already kicking you know what in this campaign during the holiday season. But I'm going to play Mayor Eric Adams because he literally is like waking up to his own stupidity because they've come after him because he bucked against the system. That's pretty much what happened to Mayor Adams. All right, just real quick, I want to give y'all a quick highlight of this. You see that red bar down there? That's how close we are to our goal. Remove me from there. Our goal is, you bring me back, but just remove me. All right, let me just tell y'all what the campaign is. Okay, the campaign is Angel Tree campaign. I do it every single year. What we're trying to do is get children whose parents are incarcerated a gift for Christmas. Very simple. It's no fault of their own. Their parents are the one made the decision, but they still deserve to have a loving and genuine Christmas. This is what we're going to do. Our goal was 1,300 kids. We're already at 1,200, and the second day we've been talking about this. We want to blow past this to get to 4,000 kids. That's our goal. Bring me back in. 4,000 kids. All I want from you is that if God has put it on your heart for you to give, $30 covers a kid. We'll get them a gift of their choice. We'll get them a Bible and a personalized letter from their parent who's incarcerated. We do this every year, and it's such a heartwarming success for us, and I cannot wait to service more than 1,200 kids that we have right now. And I know that we can do it big. $30 will help one kid. So obviously you see the chart here. If you do 3,000, that'll help 100 kids or whatever the case may be. I personally donated 5,000 to the cause. One of my good friends matched the cause at 5,000. We are going to do something for people that give 5,000. I forget what we're going to do. Not forget, we haven't planned it, right? We want to get somebody to come out here and do a dinner with you. If you can donate 5,000, which helps a tremendous amount of kids. So I haven't honed in on the plan yet, so just know that we're thinking about it. If you have it to give, give. If you don't have it to give, God bless you anyway. There'll be other opportunities to give. All right, let's get to, and you put the link in the thing, right? Okay. It's pinned. I want to see by the time at the end of this live stream that we reach our goal that was on there, which is probably like 100 kids or something like that. We should at least reach that by the end of this live stream. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. All righty. I want to go to Mayor Adams real quick. Mayor Adams, he's finally waking up and smelling the cocaine, okay? Maybe I shouldn't have said that on live. He's smelling the coca leaves. Because they're finally coming after him and they're treating him like they do Donald Trump. And now he's finally saying he gonna pick a side. Roll the clip.
Those who are here committing crimes, robberies, shooting at police officers, raping innocent people, have been a harm to our country. I want to sit down and hear the plan on how we're going to address them. Those are the people I am talking about, and I would love to sit down with the Board of Czar and hear his thoughts on how we're going to address those who are harming our citizens.
You're open to that?
Open to?
Hold on a second. Real quick. Why wouldn't every mayor say what he said? Like, what's the harm in filing that? People who are hurting our community, I want to hear what this administration is going to do. If they can't do nothing legitimate, screw them. Get out of my office. But I want to hear what they're going to do about the problem that's plaguing the people. Other mayors are saying, we're not working with them whatsoever. We're not doing nothing with the Trump administration. They're essentially telling you, taxpayers, every one of you, look me in the eye, you, and all your taxes and everything else. That's what these mayors are saying. At least this man have enough courage, probably because they indict him, he need Trump to pardon him. But he's saying, I want to hear what he got to say. Is that not fair?
What their plan is to deport some of these folks, and you think the city, in some circumstances, should cooperate with ICE.
Let me. You know what's interesting? And I was talking to the team the other day. I want you to all go back and Google Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Google what they said about those who commit crimes in our city and what they said in our country. They said those who commit crimes need to get out right away. That was their position. So this is not a new position, because in the state in the era of cancel culture, no one's afraid to be honest about the truth. Well, cancel me, because I'm going to protect the people of this city. And if you come into this country, in this city, and think you're going to harm innocent New Yorkers and innocent migrants and asylum seekers, this is not the mayor you want to be in the city under.
Hey. Cancel me. What happened to him, bro? He didn't turn to a Republican. And he's telling the truth that everybody's afraid to say. Obama and the Democrats used to speak the same language. Don't you come over here breaking the law, you will be deported. Don't come over here and you haven't gone through a port of entry, you will be deported. Barack Obama was the deporter in chief. He deported more people than anybody in presidential history. Where y'all at? Mayor Adams waking up, that red pill, say when that prison time is coming, that red pill can be digested a little better. And I love to hear him say that. If you are going to, the Board of Czar is going to come have a conversation, because I don't work on behalf of me. I work on behalf of the people. I think these public servants forget about this stuff. Don't be a fool. Don't forget where you came from. They elected you to serve the people, not to serve your own political interests. And if I was a political official, I would be open to listen to everybody. If somebody want to come to me and explain to me why they need drag queens in a story hour, I'll listen to you. And you better give me a compelling reason why that makes sense. But I'm not going to say, I'm not listening. I'm not even listening to them. No, I work for you. Come present it to me, and I'll give you a fair evaluation. And you come to me and you ain't got no articulable reason, which I don't think that there's one that exists, but I can listen to it. If I'm the mayor, if I'm the governor, give me an articulable reason why that should be allowed in the school with these kids. You're going to have to convince me of that. I'll listen. That's all they saying. You work for the people, fool. You don't get to just say, I don't got time for that. The people don't have time for it, not you. That's what they forget. They think they get in the office and it's their country. They get in the office and it's their city, their district. No. It's the people's district. You're just a representative. How y'all forgetting that? It's because we don't hold them accountable enough. All right, let me get to this last topic, and then I got to go see my son's basketball game. He's actually pretty good, I ain't gonna lie. He already 6'2" and he's 14. Don't tell him I said he's taller than me, but he taller than me by like an inch. And he out there hooping, though. He almost dunked the other day. Middle school, dunking. Anyway, let's get to Houston, Mom. I want to read this real quick, and then we're gonna go through the body camera just real quick. This topic has been viral. maybe you guys haven't seen it, but it's been viral because they just released the body-worn camera, which I don't know why they did it before Thanksgiving. But they released the body-worn camera of a Houston PD officer, just regular patrol, wasn't lights and sirens, wasn't speeding, just driving down the road and ran over mama and hit her kids and everything in the middle of the street. Now, I'm going to make the statement up front so you guys have no confusion. I believe that the officer had some responsibility, but ultimately the lady standing in the middle of the street, stationary at 9 o'clock at night on a dark road, is ultimately responsible for her getting hit and losing her life and her children getting hit. I think they kind of got scraped. But the female police officer should have been paying attention enough to know or be aware that people may be flocking in the middle of the street. And if they are, you should be able to stop. She hit him and then hit the brakes. That means she wasn't paying attention as much as she should have. But ultimately, it wasn't her fault. Okay? So this happened approximately 9:52 p.m. Officer Shelby Kennedy struck 41-year-old Desiree Poole with a police cruiser while she was crossing the street on Anton Drive in Pinemont with her children. Reportedly, they just got off the bus and they're crossing the road. Let's go to the body-worn camera footage because this is insanity. Now, Nick, I need control. Can I control it? No. Well, I'm gonna say I'm gonna do this when I want you to stop, but it's gonna be quick because I need to stop it a few times. We're gonna play it back a few times because I need people to understand this. As you're watching this, right up here is the crosswalk. This is a busy street. Cars are coming this way and this way constantly. It's not a one-off. This is not 1 o'clock in the morning. Nobody driving but a police car. Cars are doing this. They are standing in the middle right here, and they are never going to move until the cop hit them. They're not going from here to here or across. They're not crossing. They're literally, from the time we push play, are just standing right here in the middle of the street. Roll it. Standing there.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Okay. Man, you got the audio up, so you heard him getting popped. But she ended up hitting him. Keep playing the clip.
Oh, shit!
Okay, go back. Go back. Okay, go back. Just a little bit. Inch it back a little bit. No, leave it there. Just until I'll play it and I'll tell you to stop. Okay, roll it. Stop. Now, this is sad, but it's crazy. Why are they just in the middle of the street? They're just standing right here. Mama's here, and the kids are just standing here. This is the thing that was appalling to me. When I first saw the cop, I'm like, oh my God, what is she thinking? She didn't even stop. She didn't do nothing. This is why people get mad at females being police officers, right? Because the girl is completely oblivious to what's going on. The fact that there's two people in the car, the young lady is kind of oblivious. It makes me believe she's in training. Now, the girl ain't in training. That's embarrassing. I think she's a new officer, so her mind is going. I want to put this in perspective for you guys, not giving her too much of a pass. When you're a rookie cop and you new, if that's her, you got 400 million things going through your mind at one time, and you can't get distracted. People forget you got a radio and you got a TV, you got a computer screen right here in your car. If that's not the most distracted thing ever, I don't even know how they let police officers do it, but we are the most distracted people ever. We learn how to multitask, right? Somebody's in the ear, unit copy, black male walking southbound, just robbed a corner store on Pine Bluff and 3rd, and you close in the way. You may be like kind of looking. Then you want to check the call status, so you got to go on the computer and look at it. So you're listening, looking out the window, trying to see. So a person can get distracted. I'm not sure that this is her situation, but people can get very distracted as cops. But they did an investigation. They haven't released the actual speed of the car, but investigations say that the speed wasn't a factor. And the only reason I think this looks worse than what it probably was when it comes to speed, because she didn't hit the brakes at all until after she hit him. So it looked like she just plowed through him. I mean, she was just going normal speed, but she didn't react to this. The thing that just boggled my mind, and I still can never understand, is why are they standing in the middle of the street like this? If you get off the bus from over there, you stop here in the middle, or you're running across the street. You got to be crossing. They came from that side over here. Why is mama this way and the kid is facing that way? They should all be facing this way, coming across the street. All right, hit it and inch it till we get closer. Like do it, like tap it to get closer. I mean, they didn't move until the cop is right here. Now, let it play through, Nick. If you could skip it, that'd be great. Now, play it so they can see them. Look, cars are coming.
Oh my fucking God, Kennedy!
This is how she drives.
Oh,
so she don't see.
My God!
And she go, oh my God. Well, if you know, the male officer gets out and he renders aid, he does CPR, and she's kind of flustered, right? I mean, some of it could be because she just hit somebody and she's like, oh my God, I'm going to prison for the rest of my life. This is it. I ain't never going to see my family ever again. And that could cause her to be flustered. Or she's just an inexperienced cop that's just not there yet, right? She's not. She should be driving the car. She should be over in the passenger seat watching, because she hit him and she don't even tell them that they're doing CPR, because you have to let them know over the air that you're doing CPR so they can timestamp it. So when you go on the radio, you got to say CPR started, because then they can go back and historically timestamp and say, this is when we started CPR. When the ambulance get there and they pronounced her or whatever, they know that you have been doing CPR from this amount of time. If you never say you start CPR, they have no record that you ever did CPR unless they're looking at a body on camera. So you use the radio as a record. So she go, hey, we need EMS. She did a good job at that. We need a sergeant. She did a good job at that. But she didn't even articulate that they hit somebody in the middle of the street. She didn't even mention that part. And the guy had to yell at her while he's doing CPR to say, tell him CPR. Tell him we start CPR. She was taken off the streets, but she was put back on the streets during the investigation. This is what I will say. They didn't, just the mama didn't make it. The kids were fine. The mama didn't make it. It was very sad if you watch the rest of it. But somebody said, good job, Nick. You did do a good job stopping and going. I know it's hard to do that. But let me just say this and then I'm going to be done. I think that the officer should have been a lot more present and aware of their surroundings. Would a good officer who's aware of their surroundings not hit them? They may still have hit them, but she should at least been aware enough to hit the brakes at some point. She didn't. I don't think she ever hit the brakes until after she hit him. So that means that she didn't even recognize that she was driving up on these people. The guy in the passenger seat who's not driving is like, hey, whoa, 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 whoa. And she didn't catch it until after people were flying over the car. So my critique of her is that she needed to be paying more attention all the time, because you always have to expect this to happen. When I was a police officer, Tucson has the worst lighting in the world. And one of the reasons that they do is because there's a big observatory in Tucson, which means that they lower the lighting of the city. So there's not a lot of what they call it light fog. And therefore the observatories and lenses can see the stars clearly. Tucson has the worst lighting ever. People die all the time in Tucson because you can't, and people are dumb enough to be wearing all black on a street with no street lights. Pitch black, boom, we run over. People die all the time in Tucson like that. So I know what it's like to be driving in an environment where it's low lighting. Now you go in code 3, people run out there, they just gonna get hit. But while you're just patrolling, you should understand your beat well enough to know this is where people cross. This is where the bus stop is at. People are getting off the bus at this time. Let me at least be able to hit the brakes. Now for the family, and I'm done. Mama, what are you doing? You're standing, give me back to the standing in the middle of the street clip. You're just standing there. Your children and you are not moving. Y'all, I mean, I watched this video. You can barely see it from me, but if you go look at it on your own, they're standing here the whole time. They're standing right in the middle. They're not even crossing. They're just standing right here. They're not moving. Stop. They're not even moving. Like, I don't understand how this happens. Mama's facing this way, the kids facing this way. They're just standing here. She's lucky that her kids didn't lose their life. She's lucky there wasn't a bus. I mean, the cop got the headlights on. You can't see the headlights down the street, and you just stood there for at least 2 or 3 seconds straight. So I blame mama for putting her kids out there. You can't do it like that. I don't know if the kids dropped something in the street and they were picking it up. I don't get it, man. There's buses coming this way, car headlights right there. You can see cars coming. I'm sure the cop car wasn't the only car that went this way. For the life of me, when I watched this, I couldn't imagine that she's just standing there. I thought they were crossing and the cop plowed through him. I'm like, oh, shoot, bro, you finna go to jail. But then I watched it and watched it and watched it and watched it, and I realized that they hadn't moved from when that cop car was way back there. They hadn't even moved nowhere. What? This is how people, that's why the cop isn't going to jail, because you can argue that the lighting is not very good here and that they just standing there in the street. They're not even like crossing. But anyway, well, I appreciate you guys. Y'all make sure you hit the like button. Thank y'all for the super chat. I got to get to my son's game. I'm finna be late, but at least I'm going to show up. I had to do this and let y'all be up to speed on the topics. Make sure you comment in the comment section. Let me know what you want us to talk about on the next show. All right. Appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Make sure y'all go to that link to donate to those kids, because it means a lot to me and it means a lot to these children who want to have a Merry Christmas. Only $30. It's only $30. That's to go a long way. I'm sure y'all blowing $30 on lattes. $30. But I'll say this and I'm going to shut the front door. Don't give if it ain't in your heart. Don't give because you're guilty or none of that. You give because you say, God has blessed me so much so, or I'm willing to make a sacrifice because I want to be the hands and feet that God has called me to be, and I want to serve. And even if you just give $1 or $5, you don't have to give the whole thing. Just give a couple dollars, because a few people together can give up to $30, and that'll be, 5 or 6 people together can help one kid. But we can do it, y'all. We're going to do it. God bless you. God bless America. I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out of here.
On the land of the free.